Okay, so you're thinking about moving to Washington State, or maybe you're already here and you're trying to figure out, do I want to be in Olympia or Tacoma? And I actually get this question all the time, and I love it because these two cities, they look pretty similar on a map. They're about 30 minutes apart, but they feel like completely different worlds. My name's Kenan Maurer. I'm a local real estate agent serving both Olympia and Tacoma. And today I'm gonna break down everything. So like the cost of living, neighborhoods, schools, job market, things to do, the vibe, so that by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which city is your city. So let's get into it. Let's start with the basics. Just who are these cities? Tacoma is like a real city. It's got about 225,000 people. It's got character, it's got an art scene, a waterfront, a port, it's got energy. And people call it the grit city, and I think that's actually pretty fitting because Tacoma is in the middle of a comeback story right now. For a long time, Tacoma kind of had a rough reputation. There's even a term called the Tacoma aroma that old timers joke about from back when the paper mills were running full blast. But here's the thing, that Tacoma is gone, and the city has transformed dramatically over the last 10 to 15 years. And the downtown is pretty vibrant. The waterfront is stunning. There's breweries, there's restaurants, galleries everywhere. Now, Olympia is a little bit different. It's the state capital of Washington. The population is around 55,000. It's smaller, it's quieter, it's greener. When I say greener, I mean literally you'll see more trees, more parks, more nature. Olympia sits towards the southern tip of the Puget Sound, and it has this incredibly beautiful natural setting. And Olympia also has a very strong arts and culture independent streak. It's also a college town, home to Evergreen State College, and that gives it this creative, eclectic, slightly quirky personality that I absolutely love. So right out of the gate, Tacoma is urban, it's up and coming, and Olympia is small city, kind of serene. Neither is necessarily better, they're just different. Okay, let's talk money, because this is really what drives a lot of decisions. In Tacoma, the median home price is hovering around $460,000 to $475,000 right now. And here's what's wild. 5 years ago, that number was closer to $300,000. So Tacoma has appreciated fast. If you bought in Tacoma in 2018 or 2019, you've made some serious equity. Now in Olympia, the median home price is roughly $520,000 to $540,000, but the range of what you get for that money feels a little different depending on the neighborhood. In Olympia, you might get more land, more square footage, a bigger yard. Here's a real world example that I like to share. I had a client who was cross-shopping both cities. In Tacoma, their $450,000 budget got them a 3-bedroom, 2-bath Craftsman in a pretty walkable neighborhood close to cafes and the light rail. And in Olympia, they had the same budget, and they ended up with a 4-bedroom on a half-acre lot with a view of the water. Two completely different lifestyles at the same price point. Now, rentals, if you're renting before you buy, Tacoma averages around $1,700 to $2,000 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment. Olympia comes in a little bit lower, around $1,500 to $1,800 for comparable space. Groceries, utilities, everyday spending, both cities track pretty closely to Washington state averages. And Washington right now has no state income tax, which is a huge deal if you're moving here from California, Oregon, or any high income tax state. That's money back in your pocket every single year. The overall cost of living index, both cities run about 10 to 15% above the national average, but compared to Seattle, you're paying 30 to 40% less for housing. And that's kind of the play. You get proximity to the Pacific Northwest lifestyle at a massive discount to Seattle. Let's talk a little bit about the job market, because this is kind of a big one, especially for people that are relocating. In Tacoma, the economy is pretty diverse and it's growing. You got the Port of Tacoma, one of the largest ports on the West Coast. So logistics, trade, and manufacturing are pretty big. Multicare and CHI Franciscan are two massive healthcare systems headquartered in Tacoma. You've also got Joint Base Lewis McChord, which is one of the largest military installations in the country, just south of Tacoma. And that military community is pretty significant because it drives a stable, consistent real estate market. And increasingly, Tacoma is becoming a commuter city for Seattle and those workers who want lower housing costs. The Sounder train runs between Tacoma and Seattle in about an hour. For people willing to commute, this is a massive quality of life arbitrage. Olympia's economy is anchored by state government. It's the capital. So if you work in government, public administration, or anything adjacent, Olympia is probably your city. But beyond that, healthcare, education, and small business make up a lot of that local economy in Olympia. In Olympia, there's also a growing tech and remote work community, and those people are choosing Olympia really for the lifestyle. So remote workers, listen up, both cities are incredible options for you. Fast internet, reasonable cost of living, incredible quality of life. If your job follows your laptop, you need to seriously take a look at both of these cities. Okay, now this is my favorite part, neighborhoods, because this is where I really get to paint a picture. In Tacoma, let me walk you through a few areas that I love. North Tacoma is classic PNW architecture. I'm talking big craftsman homes, tree-lined streets, walkable to coffee shops and restaurants. It borders the University of Puget Sound. If you want that classic storybook neighborhood feel, North Tacoma is it. And then you have the Stadium District, named after the iconic Stadium High School, which, by the way, if you've never seen it, look it up. It literally looks like a French chateau sitting on a hill overlooking the city. Wild. That neighborhood is charming, historic. It's really sought after as well. It's just one of those really picturesque areas. Then you have the Proctor District, which is another gem. It's a neighborhood with its own little downtown strip. It's got its own farmers market, boutique shops, great local restaurants. It's very community oriented. And then downtown Tacoma and the waterfront, this is your urban lifestyle. You have the Museum of Glass, you have the Tacoma Art Museum, you have waterfront restaurants, you have the Glass Bridge, you have Point Defiance Park, one of the largest urban parks in the country. By the way, it's actually bigger than Central Park in New York. I'm serious. Now, in Olympia, you've got the West Side, which is really desirable, close to water into downtown. It also has the Capitol Mall, which is great for shopping if you're looking for something to do on a weekend. You have downtown Olympia. Downtown Olympia itself is small, but vibrant. And I think the biggest draw to downtown Olympia is the farmers market there, which is honestly kind of a legendary farmers market. It's open spring through fall, and it's a scene. There's vendors, there's live music, local art. It's one of downtown's favorite spots. And then you have the outskirts of Olympia, areas like Tumwater, Lacey, or Yelm, where you can get into more land or more rural lifestyle while still being close to the city. And here's the lifestyle vibe difference I always describe to clients. Tacoma is for people who want to feel the pulse of a city, who want to walk to things, who want energy, who want to feel like they're in something. And then Olympia is for people who want to wake up and hear birds, drive 5 minutes to a waterfront trail, and decompress from the world. Neither is wrong, it's just about who you are. So let's talk schools for a second, because if you have kids, this is often the deciding factor. Tacoma Public Schools serves the city's core, and like many urban districts, it's a pretty mixed bag. There are generally excellent schools. Science and Math Institute, also known as SAMI, is a magnet school with an incredible reputation. Lincoln High School has seen massive investment in revitalization, and charter and private options are expanding. But I'll be transparent, if schools are your primary driver, you'll want to research specific neighborhoods and their assigned schools very carefully. The good news is that surrounding districts like University Place and Fife also have really strong reputations. In Olympia, the Olympia School District generally scores really well. Strong graduation rates, good test scores, solid extracurricular programs. The smaller city dynamic means schools feel a bit more community-oriented. Teachers tend to know a lot more of the families, and there's less of that big district anonymity. And for higher education, both cities have pretty solid options. In Tacoma, you've got University of Puget Sound, a really well-regarded liberal arts university. Plus you have Pacific Lutheran University, Tacoma Community College, and you have a University of Washington campus. In Olympia, Evergreen State College is kind of the big name. It's known for more of an unconventional project-based learning model, and it draws a very particular kind of student. You also have South Puget Sound Community College, which has been serving this region well for a very long time. Bottom line on education, I think Olympia has a slight edge for K through 12 public schools on average. Tacoma has more options and is actively investing in improvement. Okay, so let's talk recreation and things to do. And this is where living in the Northwest is just kind of unfair to the rest of the country, because both of these cities are extraordinary. In Tacoma, you have Point Defiance Park, and that's kind of the anchor. It's 760 acres right inside the city. You've got trails, a zoo, an aquarium, a marina. You have views of Mount Rainier on clear days, and it's one of the best urban parks I've ever been to anywhere in the United States. The Museum of Glass is world famous. You can watch master glassblowers work. It's pretty incredible. It's definitely something I would recommend checking out. The Tacoma Art Museum, you have the Washington State History Museum. There's serious cultural infrastructure here. Sports fans, you're close enough to Seattle for Seahawks or Mariners, Sounders, Kraken games. Tacoma also has the Tacoma Rainiers, which is a minor league baseball team, and the Tacoma Defiance soccer team. Very fun to watch, very affordable. And then you have Tacoma's food and drink scene, which has exploded over the years. It seems like there's a craft brewery like everywhere. You have Odd Otter, you have E9 Brewing, you have a bunch of incredible restaurants, you have a growing cocktail bar scene, you have 6th Ave, which is particularly great for nightlife and for dining. And then in Olympia, the outdoor game is honestly next level. Nisqually Wildlife Refuge is one of the premier bird watching and nature spots in the state. You have Capitol Lake right downtown, which is beautiful and has an incredible trail around it, which is a really great trail to walk on. There's a lot of hiking trails within 30 minutes of Olympia, and you're literally an hour and a half to 2 hours from some of the most spectacular national parks in America. Mount Rainier, Olympic National Park, even the coast. And Olympia's music scene punches way above its weight for a city this size. It has pretty rich indie and underground music history. Nirvana has some Olympia roots. The Evergreen State College also brings a lot of great music and cultural and arts people to this area. In both cities, you have farmers markets and local festivals. You can kayak on the Sound. You have breweries, you have open mic nights, bookshops, coffee, culture. Both cities kind of have a lot, and you won't be bored in either place. Okay, so let me wrap this up with the most useful thing I can kind of tell you. I think Tacoma is your city if you want urban energy with room to breathe. You love coffee shops, restaurants, weekend markets within walking distance. Maybe you work in Seattle or near Seattle and want to stretch your dollar. Maybe you love arts and culture and you want a city that's on the rise. Tacoma's trajectory is up, and getting in now means you're building equity as the city grows. Olympia is your city if you want calm over chaos. You love nature, you love the outdoors and the lifestyle that brings. You like the rhythm of a smaller community. Maybe you work remotely or in state government and you want top-tier schools in a neighborhood where you know your neighbors. And you want that PNW piece, the big trees, the clean air, water views, farmers markets. Here's my honest take as a real estate professional. Both cities are undervalued relative to the Pacific Northwest overall. Both cities have had strong appreciation fundamentals, and both cities offer a quality of life that you simply can't replicate in most parts of the country at this price point. The question isn't which city is better. The question is which city is better for you. And that's exactly what I help people figure out every single day. Whether you're relocating from out of state, upsizing, downsizing, or investing, I work with buyers and sellers throughout Tacoma and Olympia markets. I know these neighborhoods, I know the numbers, and I genuinely love helping people find not just a house, but the right city and the right area for where they are in life. So if you found this video helpful, please hit subscribe because I'm dropping real estate content about this region every single week. Market updates, neighborhood tours, buying tips, investment breakdowns, all of it. And if you're thinking about making the move to either Olympia or Tacoma, I want to talk to you. And my contact info is actually in the description of this video. The Pacific Northwest is an incredible place to call home. I live it, I love it, and I want to help you find your place in it. I'm Kenan, and I'll see you in the next video.